Let's see, in Mexico now there's
307.
307 members. Oh,
mentoring.
No, but yeah, there's
members are 469.
469 members, but 307 mentoring teams.
Wow.
And that is very impressive. And I think that's another reason why we're seeing such wonderful growth here, is that our members are very active and they're willing to give back, and they're willing to bring along the next generation of MDRT members and teach them the way to do it, and to give them the encouragement so that they continue in this profession. We did several things because we really wanted to make sure it worked globally. And one of the things is we got rid of the fees. So people can become a mentor and an aspirant without paying a fee.
Okay.
Another thing is we're providing more content in languages. So we're providing more Spanish content so that the mentoring teams can constantly have something new to be talking about and working on. Having the ability to come in with only 50% of the production. Now the difficulty is if you're only doing 50% of the production, it's an expensive trip.
Yes.
And we do have the new income qualifications. So we have our traditional, you can qualify on commissions, then you can qualify on the amount of premium that you produce. And now you can also qualify based on an income doing financial services.
Okay.
Now you can't do it for the first time. As a first time qualifier, you have to do it under one of the traditional methods. But once you've done that, then you can go out in and use the income qualification. And the reason that we added it is that in many of our countries, the commissions are being regulated out and fees are being regulated in. So we wanted to make sure that people, even if they're on a fee-based for providing the services, that they can still retain their membership.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and you've just hit on one of my biggest passions. I was so blessed to be able to be on the program committee, I think about 8 times. So the program planning actually starts right before the prior year's meeting. So we had our first program committee meeting on site in Anaheim before the actual Anaheim meeting. And we actually have been watching videos. We have a team that works for May Platform, and they have reviewed so far 500 videos of speakers to narrow down to about 20 that will actually make it. Then once they select them, they work on the script with them. Then they bring all of those speakers one at a time into Chicago, and they have to perform, and then they decide whether to keep them or not. Yeah, it's a tremendous process, but I think that's one of the reasons we have such great content at the meeting. Now we're doing it online, which is really nice, but as soon as an agent gets back, they'll get an email saying, here's the annual survey from the meeting, would you fill it out? And we really want to make sure that we're reaching everyone, because it's funny when, like after this meeting, I talked to Randy and say, who was your favorite? And his would be totally different than mine, which would be totally different than Marco's. So you want to make sure that you have a broad appeal, and that culturally, even if I think this is great and you don't, we're not going to put it on.
Yeah.
One of the other things is, and I don't know if it's as much of a concern here, but we've heard it particularly in Asia, that companies sometimes are concerned about poaching. That if they have their members involved in MDRT, that they're concerned that other companies might find them and lure them away. And MDRT absolutely forbids that. We do not allow anyone to use our organization as a method to reach other members and pull them from other companies. In the U.S., we feel like it's going to probably fall more to the agents to help train each other. So that's why our mentoring program is so important to us, because we feel like if there's this void, if the companies aren't bringing the people in, that we can. Now personally, I brought my nephew into my practice 6 years ago, and I was terrified because, first of all, he's my family, and what if it doesn't work? And I knew everyone would blame me because I'm not as nice as he is. But it was the best thing I ever did in my business. He's wonderful. He brought a new vision to it. He brought a lot of energy to it. And we started doing a lot of multi-generational planning because I thought that I was working with my clients' children, but I really wasn't. I was treating them like children, and they could feel that. He treats them like clients. So it's been wonderful for my practice, and I think that kind of model, having an experienced agent and a new younger agent, is a very vibrant model. I think it's phenomenal. It surprises me that it's not greater in the U.S. Our overall female membership is quite high. I believe it's around 40%, but part of that is because in Asia, women are more predominant in the agencies. So in the U.S., we've got these great role models, and I think one of the things that's changed in the time I've been in the industry is that we do have these role models. And so I think as women see that they can do it too, and they can do it very successfully, maybe we'll attract more people. I think the other thing that the companies are doing to help is that they're recognizing more that there's just not one set way of doing things. For women, sometimes they need more flexibility in their scheduling. Women sometimes aren't as much of a, I don't know, let me think of a good term for that. Let's just say they're more hunters or more gatherers. You know, they kind of are in the service mode more. And so when we look at different parts of our industry that have service as a greater part of it, so employee benefits, things like that, also that have daytime things, I think that women will migrate and do migrate more to those areas. And as the companies are more tolerant of that, I think we'll see growing female membership. Well, it was an accident.
As always?
Yeah. I was fresh out of college. I thought I would do a little financial planning for 6 months before I went back and got my master's and got in a real profession. So I went into it with a very short-term attitude. It frustrated me that I was not doing very well, and I have a big ego, and I thought, I am good. Why am I not doing well? I don't even like this business. I have to prove I can do well, and then I'll quit because it's ridiculous that I could fail. So, but the problem was once I started doing well, I started liking it. And here I am more than 30 years later.
How did the MDRT change your perspective on the business?
It made me see both the industry through different eyes, but it also made me see myself. When I went to the MDRT meeting, other members saw in me what I did not see in myself. They saw that I could do it and be successful. At the time, at the time I didn't see that. So that was huge. I went to my 3rd annual meeting, and I had quit right before I went to the annual meeting. I resigned, and I was done with it. And I went to the meeting just because I paid for it, and I was pretty broke. So I figured I'm not going to not go to it. And thank you. And at the meeting, I don't even remember any of the speakers. I remember the other members. They kind of all talked to me and took me aside and said, what are you doing? Why isn't it working? And changed everything. And I went back and I changed, and my production just doubled, and everything changed. And it was because of the roundtable. How did you get into the business?
I was in the restaurant business and, working 60, 70 hours a week. And restaurant business was great because I got an appreciation of service and things like that. But a recruiter called me to go with Aetna, which was a big insurance company. And they said, you come in the insurance business, you still have to work 60 hours a week, but you can take Sundays off. I said, where do I sign? So I got into the business, just applied the same work ethic and sense of service that I had in the restaurant business, and it helped me flourish. And then 4 years into my career, I got involved in MDRT, became a member of MDRT. And becoming a member of MDRT helped me grow my business, and business really flourished. But when I became involved in MDRT, on committees and on the program, is when I really developed as a person. And you really develop those relationships even deeper.
It's amazed me that the more I give, the more I give back, and it's a multiple. I cannot give more than I get. I just get back. Meeting people like Marco and going all around the world, I get so many great ideas, and I feel so good about our industry that I guess that's why I'm still willing to give as much time as I can, because it's not giving it up. It's really a seed that's continuing to grow and help me as well. I mean, I didn't start giving to get back, but boy, I have.
I certainly agree with that. That's the abstract version of it, but it's very true. We always get back more than what we give. Some people want the more concrete, some members, and I tell you, and it's true, and other people will say this, the more I do industry work or community work, the better my business does. And there's a reason for it. You're more careful with what you do with your time, and you do away with the little stuff that's unimportant. And then there's other more nuances to it. For example, when you're doing MDRT work, it does give you better confidence. When you're working with MDRT members, I do a lot of industry work and a lot of community work, but there's no work that I do volunteer-wise that I enjoy more than working with my fellow MDRT members. And if you want to have a great year, work more with MDRT.
I wish you a very good experience in Mexico. Thank you very much for your time. I'll be seeing you. I'll be arranging some interviews later with you.
That's
hopefully.
great. That's great.
Well, thank you very much.
And thank you for what you do for our industry. It is so important. We really appreciate it.